All right, here we are. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. Happy Thursday morning, live here on Instagram, up here on Facebook. Hope your morning is off to a great start. My name is Alan. I'm happy to be your host today. Currently have the pleasure of serving as the Chief Operating Officer of the Institute of Clinical Excellence and a faculty member in our fitness athlete division. It's Thursday. Here on Thursday we talk about leadership and management, but we also talk about Gut Check Thursday. So as promised last week, back to basics from now on with Gut Check Thursday, mainly body weight type stuff, a lot more simpler but not necessarily more easy type workouts coming your way. So Gut Check Thursday this week, just did it myself this morning, 30, 20, 10 burpees and sit-ups. So 30 burpees, 30 sit-ups, 20, 20, 10, 10. Then you get a 3-minute rest, and then you're basically going to do the same thing but without the partitioning. So after a 3-minute rest, you're going to do 60 burpees and then 60 sit-ups. So about 5 to 6 minutes per each piece of the workout with that little rest in the middle. Got quite gnarly, especially on the sit-ups for me this morning, more so than the burpees. So make sure you hit Gut Check Thursday. Make sure you post your time lapse and tag us on Instagram. As soon as we get back to having shirts made, we'll go back to giving away shirts and picking a random winner every month. But make sure you hit that workout. Good workout to scale for patients in the clinic. Good workout to do with friends and family over the weekend. Kind of low skill, high intensity type workout to share with friends and family. Courses coming up. We have a couple courses coming up the weekend of June 19th and 20th. We have Older Adult Live. That's going to be down in Phoenix, Arizona with Christina Previtt. I'll be there as well. There to audit Christina, but also a helping hand in class. That same weekend, you can join Zach Morgan for lumbar spine management in Richmond, Virginia at Onward Richmond there in Virginia. And then that weekend is the National Association of Black Physical Therapists Conference. It's virtual this year. Tickets are super cheap, so make sure if you're going to be home that weekend and near your phone or a computer to check out that conference. It runs Friday night and then Saturday morning and afternoon. The next weekend in June, the 26th and the 27th, you can join Zach Morgan out in California in Simi Valley. That's going to be for lumbar spine management. Also in California, Jeff Moore will be there with cervical spine management in Santa Rosa. And then you can join Mitch out in Delaware, wherever that state happens to be, for Fitness Athlete Live out at CrossFit Bear in Bear, Delaware. And then a couple online courses starting at the end of the month. Modern Managing the Older Adult Online, Essential Foundation, starts June 28th. That course is almost full. That course always sells out early, so do not wait until the last minute because you will not get a seat for that course if you're hoping to get it done this summer. We have that same day, June 28th, Fitness Athlete Pregnancy and Postpartum with Alexis Morgan and Christina Previtt. Will be starting June 28th as well. Rehab of the Injured Runner Online, July 7th, starts again. I'm in the current cohort right now. I love that class. Definitely not a runner myself and not somebody that enjoys necessarily working with a lot of runners, but that class has been very, very helpful for me as a clinician to better serve the runners who do end up on my caseload. And then Fitness Athlete Advanced Concepts with Zach and Mitch starts July 12th, the second installment of Fitness Athlete if you've already taken Essential Foundations. Diving deep into Olympic lifting, gymnastics, and programming with Zach and Mitch online. So that's what's coming your way over the next month course-wise. Today's topic is centered around a book, and we'll talk a little bit about that, and then kind of the misinterpretations of that book. So the book we're talking about is The Subtle Art of Not Giving, and I'll use the word crap on here to be family friendly. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Crap by Mark Manson. He's a blogger, and the kind of the premise of the book is it's an anti-self-help book. That a lot of self-help books are about positivity and just getting better at communication, and kind of really ignore some key principles and gloss over some hard truths about life. And he does it with a lot of profanity that certainly keeps you engaged throughout the book, and he talks about a couple different principles. And so I've read the book. I like the book a lot. I like what the book has to say. And mainly what I've gotten from that book is to control what you can control and to let go of what you can't. For example, you can't control how popular other people think you are. So instead of worrying about impressing people to increase your popularity, then what you might do is work on controlling your punctuality. You know you can be on time to work, be on time for events, that sort of thing, versus you can't control popularity. So focus on what you can control and don't worry about what you can't. And what's kind of stemmed from this book is kind of this movement of not giving a crap about anything. That for some reason, the mindset of my life feels so out of control in multiple different ways that I'm going to pursue not giving a crap across multiple domains of my life, with social engagements, with work, with family stuff, and taking this subtle art of not giving a crap and applying it broad spectrum across your whole life, personal and professional. And that's a really big misinterpretation of this book, of trying to somehow gain control over life by doing less work at a lower quality. When we dig into this book, what is said very early on in the book is that it's important to recognize that our happiness, human happiness, comes from solving problems. We are natural problem solvers. That's why we're on the top of the food chain. We've been evolving and getting better and better and better for 2 million years, and part of that is the satisfaction, both chemically in our body and mentally in our brain, that we get when we solve a problem. When we check a task off a list, we get a little chemical dopamine hit. We get the relief in our brain, and we get that physical chemical relief as well when we get things done. Happiness comes from solving problems, and we need to recognize that. And that also said very early on in the book that there's a lot of value in suffering. And Mark Manson goes on to quote Sigmund Freud. I love this quote. "Your years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful." We've talked about that on here before. Very rarely do we remember the easy times. We don't remember too often the day that we had it easy and we didn't do much and we laid around and watched Netflix, right? Those moments aren't very memorable in our mind. What is memorable is doing a really hard workout, of a really busy day in the clinic, a really busy period of time in the clinic. We're super slammed here at Health HQ. This is certainly a time in our lives that we'll all remember before our new therapist starts here in a few weeks of how busy we are. Versus we tend not to remember the easy times. But that misinterpretation of I'm going to broad spectrum apply the subtle art of not giving a crap and suddenly just care less about calling people back, about returning text messages, about answering emails, about getting job tasks done, about making it out to those social events that are booked on your calendar, that somehow if we just stop giving a crap, that will make our life easier. And I call that not giving a crap gone wrong. Doing less work at lower quality is probably never going to make your life easier, right? That's a really short-term look at things. That's pursuing short-term gain for really long-term loss. I think of in my own job tasks for ICE in the clinic, if suddenly I just decided that I didn't pay as much attention to detail, and if I just decided to not give a crap a little bit more and did less work and did it at a lower quality, that would not make my life any easier. That would probably make my life a lot harder, because I would probably need to go back and fix a lot of things that I performed at a low quality. And if I am reducing my volume, then I would need to pick up that time elsewhere. I often have this conversation with my fiance that I'd rather just spend a couple minutes in the evening answering some emails, because that is going to give me some relief. That's going to give me some happiness from solving those problems, versus if I push that off my plate or decide, hey, you emailed me at 8 o'clock at night, that's after business hours, I'm not going to return that email. No matter what, I have to get back to that. Whether that person circles back and says you never emailed me back, or whether I get to it eventually, doing less work at lower quality is always going to end up with more trouble down the road than not. And that really, again, this is another thing in the book that Mark Manson directly addresses, is we're looking to control what we can control and let go of what we can't control to try and be a little bit happier in our lives. We're not looking to just suddenly become wildly indifferent in all aspects of our life. And he says right in the book, indifferent people are psychopaths, right? People that have no compassion, people that don't seem to care about other people, people that just seem to be rude and apathetic and indifferent are psychopaths. It's human nature to be compassionate, to care, to want to help, to want to problem solve. And if you take the interpretation from this book to be, I'm just going to not give a crap about anything in life anymore, you become that indifferent person. You become that psychopath that people maybe think is a little bit strange. And again, that's a short-term gain for long-term loss. And I think overall, the focus of the book is kind of just accepting that life is generally not fun. It's full of a lot of suffering. But how we can get around that, instead of trying to be positive all the time or being indifferent all the time, is again to focus on what you can control and what you can't control. I think something I've been working on the past year is I can't control chasing people down in the clinic patient-wise for follow-up appointments. If you don't book an appointment for me when we're finishing up your current visit, if you tell me I'll get back to you, I'm not going to chase you down, right? I can't control your schedule. I can't control your life. I can control my schedule and my life. And setting, we've talked about this before, setting those big rocks on your calendar and not being willing to move them. Where before, somebody would say, I'll get back to you, and I would erase working out from my calendar or spending time with family from my calendar and put that patient in that spot who had messaged me maybe last minute for an appointment when they had a chance the previous visit to book an appointment ahead of time. So letting go of those things that you can't control and focusing on what you can control, and knowing again that happiness comes from a little bit of suffering and that it comes from getting things done, and that applying broad spectrum indifference to your life and just deciding that you're going to do less work at a lower quality is not the way to go. And at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, in our jobs, in our relationships, in our friendships, and all the things that we do in our life, what do we bring to the table to our side of the equation? What things are we good at job-wise? What are we getting paid to do? What do our partners see in us? What do our friends see in us? Those are very important. And if we suddenly stop becoming that person that let us become a friend, become a partner, become an employee, then we really lose our value, and it's really all about our values that make us who we are. And so taking this book and making sure we actually understand what Mark Manson is trying to say, and not going the other way of saying, I'm too busy, I'm too much of a perfectionist, I'm just going to do less at a lower quality, and that will somehow lead to happiness in work and life, is just not the answer. So make sure we're taking this book and interpreting it correctly. There's a lot wrong being pulled out of this book and put on social media, which I think can lead people astray and lead us to think that if we just do less worse, that will somehow translate into happiness, when we know here at ICE we say, do less but do it better. So learning to say no to things, learning to focus on what we can control and letting go of what we can't, but still making sure that we do care, we don't become this indifferent person, and we work really hard and do a really good job at the things that we can control. So I would love to hear everybody's thoughts on this book. If you've read it, let me know what you pulled from it. I read it, I think, last summer and took some notes on it. So I think it's a great book, definitely worth reading. But make sure you pull from it what the author intended for you to pull from it. So hope you all have a fantastic Thursday. Enjoy Gut Check Thursday. If you're going to be in Phoenix next weekend, I'll see you there. Mitch is going to be on here tomorrow on Fitness Athlete Friday. We already were talking about his topic a little bit earlier. It's going to be fiery, so make sure you tune into the Daily Show tomorrow at 9 Eastern to hear Mitch rap a little bit about equipment and clinic revenue and making sure we get the job done for our patients. So have a great Thursday. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.